Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Last week I had a little issue down on the river where my throttle cable broke. Well, it really wasn't the cable itself. It was a little end piece of wire that's soldered from the actual cable wire. It's got a little piece of lead soldered on, and that little sticks out, and that attaches to the throttle cable, or to the throttle rather. That little piece of wire is what broke. Now, had I had a little kit, a little piece of wire that I could have attached around that football piece of lead and then attached it to the hole in my throttle, hey, I'd have been set, I'd have been going, I'd have been on the way. But I didn't have that. So, and there was no way to attach it with anything that I had in my boat. But I found this big spring. Now this spring, I don't know what it goes to, but it was in my toolbox. I have no idea where it goes, but it was in the toolbox. I got to thinking, and I took a butt-end connector, and I stripped all the yellow plastic off of it, and cut that little lead soldered off, and then stuck the wire into the butt-end connector, crimped it down hard, and then wrapped into the spring this portion of the cable. So I just took it and just wrapped it up in there and attached it to the throttle. Now it just gave me enough throttle to get me back to the landing. That's all. I couldn't get on plane. I couldn't go anywhere. If I'd have gotten in any shallow water, I would have not have had enough throttle to get myself out. So it was a good thing I was on the river, and I just took a long trip back to the landing. But I ended up, when I got home, ordered a new piece, ordered a new throttle cable, and a little repair kit. And I'll show you what I ordered here in just a second. Okay, so here's the new throttle cable, and I'm not sure if you can see that quite, but you can see how the lead is soldered here, and it's got a little piece of wire that comes out. That's all you need. This is the throttle cable assembly. So if you order a throttle assembly kit from Go Devil, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the throttle assembly itself and a handful of zip ties. That's it. That's all you're going to get. I do, however, suggest that when you're making your order, that you order these little I think they're called Z-clips. I'm not really sure what they're actually called. But you can take if that little end piece breaks off on you, you pull out the cable just a little bit, wrap this behind the little piece of lead, twist it on, get the lead in front, and the tip end is the same as a new cable. They're $2.50. That's $2.50 of insurance. Guess what? I ordered 2 of them just to have. Another thing that I highly suggest that you order is a new grip. Now, these things generally are a bear to get off, and a lot of times they rip while you're trying to take them off. Fortunately for me, I was able to get mine off. I did order a new one just in case, and I'll have it with me in case I need it. It'll be in my toolbox. Speaking of tools, I really do suggest, if you don't already, put a small toolbox in your boat. Some screwdrivers, some nut drivers, a small socket set, some pliers, some extra zip ties. I got a can of oil for the motor itself, just in case. I got WD-40, that kind of stuff. I just put it in a green tote box like this, just an old green dry box. I put that and put it in the dry well of my boat for the just in case that I need the tools. Now, we're going to be putting a new cable on here in just a second, and I'm going to show you the tools that you're going to need for that. You're going to need a little nut driver with a little 5/16 nut driver on the end. That's all you're going to need. 9/16 socket wrench, and an Allen wrench. That's all you're going to need to take off your existing throttle cable and to put a new one on. I also suggest some little dish soap or hand soap. Well, what you're going to do with that is you're going to take a little bit on your fingers. You're going to put it into the grip. It just helps it slide it on and get it onto the handle. So you're not trying to force it and rip it and do all kind of stuff. So just a little trick I learned a while back. Anyway, we're gonna get out here and we are going to put this throttle cable back on and get ready. And I'm gonna try to hit the lake this afternoon if I'm lucky. Okay, guys. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up the 9/16 the bolt underneath the handle so that we can get the wire clamp loose, so we can pull the throttle cable out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the throttle itself. We're going to slide it onto the handle. You may have to loosen up the little screw there. You may have to sand some stuff off of the handle. It may have got a little rust on it. Either way, just get it, just slide it on in. So it will be just below the throttle handle cover when you put that back on. Then all we're going to do is we're going to tighten it up once we get it all set in place. And then we're just going to take the end of the wire, we're going to push it through the cable clamp there on the side of the motor, and then we're going to run it up under the motor. We're going to bring the wire over on the outside of the motor. Whatever you do, don't put it on the inside. What will happen is your wire or your throttle cable will hit the side of your muffler on one of the pipes, and it'll just burn off the plastic, so you don't want that to happen. So once you get it connected onto the throttle, do a little hole there. It may take you a few attempts. It's kind of tight up in there. Then we're just going to cinch it down, the little cable tie down area. Little cable clamp. I'll show you that here in just a minute. Once you get the cable in the cable clamp, just take your 5/16 nut driver, tighten her down as tight as you can get it. Put you a little bit of, whether it be dish soap or hand soap, put it on the end of the inside of the handle grip, slide her on, and then adjust your cable, your actual throttle, to where it's just below, or to where it feels comfortable for you, and tighten down the screw, a little set screw there, and you'll be good to go. Now I will iterate, don't over tighten that set screw because you will crack that throttle handle. Next thing, we're going to take your wire and just start taking your wire ties, your zip ties, and there's no particular way to put them on, but just cinch down your wires, get them tied up against the handle so it doesn't grab a hold of anything when you're driving through the woods. Clip off the excess and you'll be good to go. There you go, guys. That's it. That's how simple it is. Doesn't take a lot of time. Very easy to fix. Nothing to it. But had I had that little piece right there, the little repair kit, the little Z-clip, I guess that's what you'd call it, I'd have been able to stay on the water a lot longer. So I got 2 of these. Oh, and by the way, I ended up buying a second throttle cable as well, just to have. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helped you out. If you got any comments, leave them down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, do all that kind of stuff. And we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365.